Hello all, welcome to the video on Xpath. So this is the basic learning of the Xpath, and along with this I'll also upload another video later after this, wherein I'll be talking about the advanced concepts of the Xpath. So as I mentioned, in this video we will see the basic stuffs. It's like what is XPath, how to configure and how to write the XPaths, and we'll see few of the applications and take few of the examples on testing it. So before going ahead, there are few prerequisites which need to be done before you're writing the XPaths. So it's like first you need to have a Firefox browser, then you should have the add-ins Firebug and Firepath, and the SUT, the application which you are trying to automate it. Okay, so for me, I have already have the Firefox browser, and I have also installed the add-ins. So this is the Firebug, and I also have the Firepath. So if you want to learn how to configure or how to add the add-ins Firepath and Firebug, there is another video which you need to refer to. Okay, so let's go ahead. So basically, what is XPath? Basically, XPath is the XML path. So when you need to use this along with XPath, there are a few other properties for a web element. It's like you have ID, class name, you have class name, then you will have class, you have tag name, link, partial link text, like that, right? And we have couple more. So basically, when you are not able to, when the XPath should be used, sometimes when you are not able to identify the object using any of these properties, sometimes there are few elements which change dynamically, or sometimes the application keeps on changing based on the refresh or based on the second load, or when doing some operations. At that time, there may be few chances that the web element may not be identified with this. In that case, we go and use the XPath. Having said that, it's not mandatory that you should write an XPath only when the element is not found with the mentioned web element properties. If you want to go ahead and use the XPath, you can use the XPath anytime. So basically, there are two kinds of XPath in a very high level. One is the absolute, and other one is the relative XPath. Okay, so let me go ahead and open one small page. See, this is some small HTML code which I have written, and it has the HTML head, body. In that you have div tag, you have couple of H1s, you have IDs, right? So for this, the respective HTML page is this one, right? So what we'll do is, initially, to make it understand about the basics, we will work on this page initially. Then after that, what we'll do is we will write the XPath for this Google page. Okay, so let's go ahead. So basically, what is this? This content is displayed based on the HTML code which I have written here, right? Based on this HTML code, within the body, I have this line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. Correspondingly, those are displayed. So based on that, here I have this. So if I make any changes here, the change would be reflected. See, once I save and refresh, see, line 1 changes. So whatever the HTML content which I write here, the respective corresponding code output will be displayed in the browser. So basically, now what we are going to do. See, here it is text. Sometimes it would be a link or button, just like how we have here a text field, button, link, images. So we need to perform few operations using the Selenium code, wherein we will identify the element uniquely. We will identify most of the time by using ID, name, class name, tag name, link. But there is also another way of doing it, that is called as a XPath. So for you to have the next write an XPath, first step what you need to have is you should have a Firefox app, Firebug add-in. Then along with that you should have Firepath add-in. This is very important. This is where we will write our XPath. See, now when I launch my Firebug, I have this window which is populated at the bottom, and here I have something called as document. If I expand this, I have something called as HTML, and if I expand this, within this I have HTML head and I have HTML body. Right, within this I have div. Here I have couple of divs. I have expanded those, and also the another div. So this is the same code which I have written here. So the advantage what we get with Firepath or Firebug is we will be able to spy this HTML code and we can write the XPath here itself. See, now all you need to do is say this is the document which now I have expanded. Now here whenever I say slash HTML, right? See which one got highlighted here. I have this HTML which is highlighted, and at the bottom if you see I have one matching node. Right now if I expand this, within this what I have within the slash HTML, I have something called as head. So now whenever I say head, see the head got highlighted and the head is under HTML. Similarly if I say body, the body got highlighted and we have one matching node, and in the web page also you are able to see the blue dotted line which is highlighted. So basically what we are doing here, this is called as a absolute XPath. So basically absolute XPath, it starts with a single slash, okay, followed by the HTML tags, followed by the single slash. So basically what this single slash say is, say suppose you are at the body. So body is the tag which is under parent called as HTML. So if you are using a single slash before any of the tab, then it says the preceding tag is the direct parent of this tailed tag. See, that's the reason when I say body, see here if I expand this, head and body both are under this HTML, right? So here now whenever I say slash head, I am saying go to corresponding tag called as head, which, and before it I have a single slash. So it says its direct parent is HTML. So it will be highlighted. So I can't write slash body. Right? When I say this, what I'm saying is I'm saying go and identify element called as body, the HTML tag, which is under head and which is under HTML. But logically body is under HTML, not under head, right? So now whenever I say this and when I say click on enter, nothing is highlighted, and also at the bottom it says zero matching nodes, because for me to identify the body I should give the direct parent, right? So now within this parent, now if I say slash div, what I got here, I'm saying div, and this div is under a page. So you have a single slash here. This div has a parent called as body. Okay, there are two divs which is under parent called as body, and that body tag is under HTML. So that's the reason I got two matching nodes here. So now within this div, suppose I have two matching nodes. I want to go with the first one, or I want to identify this first one or second one uniquely. In that case, I can say slash of one. Then it says go to the div. If there are a couple of divs, then go to the first div. and first div within the body, and that body is under HTML. So now if I want to go for the second one, here I say, but by default if you are not giving anything, then all the divs will be highlighted. So here now I am saying div 1, so it go in this. So now within this div 1, I want to go to this div. So here I say slash div. So here it says go to the HTML. Within the HTML you have body. Within that body go to the first div. Within the first div go to the div. So here you can give like this div, or even if you can give like this, then it will be same. But if you give two, then it is no matching node. The reason behind it, under body you have a div, but this div has only one div. So if you are saying two, it is not matching. So you can either give one, or we have only one div, you can simply give div. Suppose if you want to find out how many h1s are there within this div, simply write h1. How many h1s are there within this div? I have 3, right? See, we need to identify 3 things here. Whenever you write an XPath, for that respective XPath, first the application should highlight the respective elements, and the code should be highlighted, HTML code, and at the bottom how many are highlighted, respective matching node should be there. See, here I have 3 elements highlighted, and I have here 3 tags and 3 matching nodes. Among these 3, if I want to go to the second one, simply say, see, that second one is highlighted, that line, and one matching node, right? So we can do like this. Or else suppose if you want to go to this div, within this you want to go to this div slash div. Within this div you will go to this div. Within this div I want to see h1s. See, I have this. So now if you observe here, I am saying div. Within the div I am saying one more div here. See, here you have basically 2. That's the reason 2 divs are highlighted. H1 is there, H1 is under div, and which is another div, but here the body has 2 divs. In that case, what you can do is you can either say 1 wherein the first one will be highlighted, or else you can say 2 where the second one highlighted. If you are not highlighting, then both will be highlighted, and the 6 matching nodes will be there. And within this, if you want to highlight only the second one, and the second one in both of them will be highlighted. If you want to highlight the third one in both will be highlighted. And if you want to go with a specific, then the specific one will be highlighted. So this is how you will be writing the absolute XPath. Here the important point to note is the single slash. It always starts with a single slash which says preceding HTML tag is direct parent of the current tag. Few examples are like slash HTML, slash head, slash HTML, slash body, slash div, or you can write slash HTML slash body slash div of 2 slash div slash h1 of 2, like that. Okay, so basically this is called as a absolute XPath. Okay, so one challenge here we have with the absolute XPath is, say suppose if I am changing the position, say suppose here instead of this, if I add one more div here, if I add one more div in between this, then the complete HTML code itself is changed, right? It will not work because my XPath is pointing to only the one which I have written earlier. And second challenge is this becomes very big, right? You know, here we have only 2 divs, but say suppose you have very big applications where you have lot of code, right? Now say this one. See, this Google has a lot of code here in the body. I have div. See, within this I have so many other divs. See, if you want to write for this one particular one, I have to write slash html slash body, and I have to write slash div. Within the div, I'll say div of 2. Within the div of 2, I have to say div, right? So basically, it is very tedious process to write for this so many divs. So in that case, what you can do is, instead of writing this, you have something called as a relative XPath. This is something called as a relative XPath. Relative XPath always starts with the double slash. So basically, what we are doing here is, say suppose this is the one I have. Hmm. See, within this, I want to say, we'll write something like this slash. Within this, I have something called as a div of 1. Within div of 1, I have div, and within the div, I have div slash h1. Then these two are highlighted, and here I am pointing to the first one. Instead of writing all these, what I can do is simply I can say this one as well. See what I have done. Instead of writing HTML body and all the code for this complete thing, I've just replaced it with a single slash, which says before this div, how many ever the parent be. Just ignore that and start with the current location. So this is basically starts with the slash slash. Okay, see, so instead of this, simply I can write it as slash slash of this. Also, what I can do instead of this, I can do something like this as well. So here I have a couple of them in which h1 is there. So I can write like that. So this is basically a relative XPath, which will start with the double slash. But this is not the actual advantage what we have with the relative XPath. Yeah, definitely it will reduce the number of lines, or the path structure, by using the double slash and ignoring the other one. But there are few other, along with this, there are few ways using few of the syntaxes we can actually write the relative XPath. The first one is this syntax. So basically all you need to do is you just need to remember three syntaxes. That's it. Three syntaxes, then you will be good to write the XPath. The first syntax is slash slash tag name @ property is equal to value. Suppose let's take this as an example. Okay. Assume this is the line of code I have. For this, basically you want to write the XPath. For this line of code, you will be writing the XPath using this syntax. This is the syntax using which you will be writing. So here, for this line, the tag name is whichever is after this brace and before this one. So in this case, it is h1. And property, it could be anything like ID, class name, tag name, like that. In this example, what we have done, we have only, basically it depends on what the developer gives. In this example, we have given as 80, and value is basically value which is present in respective property. Here in this, the property is id and the value is line to id, right? So the same thing what we can write. If you want to write an absolute XPath for this, you will write slash html slash body slash div of 1 slash h1 of 2. If you write this, this will be identified, right? This is a small example. So what you can do, either you can do this as this is at the beginning of the line, you have only few divs, but say I've assumed that this is almost at the bottom, you need to write small, many paths. Instead, what you can do, instead of this, instead of everything here, you can simply replace it with backslash, right? And here I have slash slash slash. Here instead of this I can say slash body and I can write this. Instead of writing the HTML I can replace this, but we can also write with this syntax as well. So if you want to write within this syntax, I'll say slash slash tag name. What is the tag name here? h1 at the rate property. The property here is id is equal to within single quotes value what the developer has given. It is always a good practice to copy and paste what the developer has given, because say suppose if the developer is given here, see, because the reason behind, let me copy this first. Let's go ahead and test this and if you are able to identify or not, right? We are able to identify one matching node that is highlighted here. Always good practice is to copy paste what the developer has given. The reason behind, say suppose here instead of line 2 I say LIEN, that is a typo, but still if you are using line, then let me refresh this. See, it says not found because the script is not intelligent. It only verifies what you have written. Here developer has given as lien, but you're writing as line, so it will not be able to identify. So in this case, if developer gives like this, you have to give this one only. Then system will be able to identify. Right? So this is the first syntax of writing the XPath. Right? This is syntax 1. So similarly, if you want, you can go ahead and write it for the other scripts as well. Now that we have got an idea on how to write the XPaths, let's go ahead with a few more XPath writing in the Google page. Say suppose here I have few of the links: advertisement, business, about, couple of links. So one thing is just buy here and click it. Here you will get the system given XPath. System given by default XPath will be there, but if you observe here it says a of 1. Always when you have the numbers, then assume you should be very careful, because tomorrow if one more link is inserted just above this, then this a of 1 will not work. So always when writing an XPath, make sure you write it independently, not based on the arrays or the indexes. So for me, if I want to write an XPath, using, let me copy this one. The 1 or 2 we will write in the notepad, but eventually you have to write in the XPath itself. See, this is one I have. Now I have to write using this syntax, right? Using this syntax, what I can do, slash slash tag name is a, and at the rate property is class is equal to what is the value within the single quotes. Always good practice is to copy paste. Copy here, paste it, right? Now whenever I copy this one, let me go here. Whenever I go here and copy this one, you are expecting that one matching node would be there, but How many are there? There are 6 matching nodes because the about, business, advertisement, privacy, term, setting, everything has the same class name. So this using this now you are able to identify basically 6 matching nodes. But if you want to identify only this one among those, then how you will do? So now if you observe here, see this is one I have, and for the second one I have this one, right? Let me go to the top here. See, these are the 3 I have, and there are few more as well. I'm just copy pasting this. This is we have already repeated. If you observe here, I'm saying at the rate class GS. With GS, I have this one, and this one. Along with this, I also have other 3 as well, which are matching with the same class name, right? The privacy terms and settings. So let's consider taking only 3. No, it would be same for the 6 as well. If you observe here, we have given instructions property class name is equal to GS, which is actually it is the same thing for all the 3. But in this you want to identify uniquely advertising or business or about. Then what you can do here? In this case, if you observe closely, whatever the text is there between these tags, that is different. So using this, you can identify. So basically, the second syntax is to the syntax, the first one what we have, all you need to do is you have something called as text. Within this, you have to write the value. So for the same lines, if you want to write a syntax for this one, you will be writing it as text equal to within the single quotes. Again, as I said, always good practice is to have a copy paste, because if the developer gives the name of advertising spelling is wrong, you have to give that one only. Now when you copy this, and go here and paste it, see, you have one which is highlighted in the application, one in the HTML code, and at the bottom also one matching node. The same thing if you want to run for business, just type business there, business is highlighted, and for the about is highlighted, right? That is how you have to write the XPath. So till now we have learned 2 syntaxes. One is with this, the tag name property, and second one is text is equal to value. But there, if you observe, there may be few more applications in which the text will be displayed as a paragraph, and the complete paragraph would be given as a hyperlink. In that case, what you will do, see, basically my uh, intention here is, let me tell you this, yeah. Let me just give some HTML :/google.com, and assume here I have given very big sentence. This is to click on the link having, I'll give some number 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I have some text. I have given some text here. Now whenever I save this and when I refresh here, see, a complete link is displayed here. Even if I go and spy here, I have this completely, right? One way what I can do, I need to copy all this and I need to write an XPath. I need to write an XPath string / a text. I have to write this completely, right? And oh yeah, so basically I have to copy only this, right? Let me copy that one more time. So basically my intention here is, you need to copy a complete text. So if you are writing this in your code, then what you need to do, you need to write a lot of text here. I say, / assume, whatever it could be, some a, or else simply I can change it here as well. See, instead of this, say suppose have this HTML. As of now, temporarily, just let me change this and kept this text, right? See, here I have got this text here. Now if I want to write an XPath for this one, I need to copy all the line from here until here, copy this, and if I want to write an XPath for that, how I'll write here, I need to paste complete this thing, right? Then that particular node is highlighted, this one is highlighted, and it says one matching node. But here it is only one paragraph. Say suppose I have lot of paragraphs which I have added here. Say I have added something like this. See, I have added something like this. Then for you to make the XPath available, what you have to do, you have to add a complete text from here, right? Which is difficult, which is not supportive, right? Always not a good practice. Instead, what you can do, there is something called as contains. So basically what you can do is, you can use something called as a contains here. Instead of writing everything, say here I have some text link and I say 1 2 3 4 5 6 and some text. So for this, instead of writing a complete XPath for this, basically what I can do is, I can simply say / a class equal to, always good practice is to copy, but as of now, just to save time I am doing this, but in real time you should always copy those. So here, instead of writing the complete path, I say contains, and within the contains I'll say text. The text contains this. I'll say the text contains this one. See, now it says whatever the link which has the text containing 1 2 3 4 5 6, that will be highlighted. So instead of writing the complete thing like text equal to, instead of writing everything from the starting here, instead of writing everything here, you can simply say contains, right? So this is one more example which we have. So basically what you can do is, this is the first syntax, this is the second syntax, and the third syntax is simply, you can say, if you have a text, you can say this, instead of equal you will say contains. This is the only three syntaxes which you need to remember. You will say contains text, comma, not an equal operator but comma, because it is contains. The same thing what you can do is, you can apply for the first section as well. In this also, if you have a lot of text, instead what you can do, you can say contains property comma value. Okay, so now Suppose you want to write for this. Let me refresh so that the original code will come. See, in this, if you want, you can simply say slash slash a. I have three matching nodes. Here I said contains only Z. I didn't write yes, right? And here I can also use again, instead of complete text, I can say contains. I'll say text, comma, adverb. And that one got highlighted, right? So basically, when this will be useful, see, few of the pages, like if you log in into social network or Gmail, what you will have? You will have this signing name. Say, let me log in into Facebook. See here, based on my name, the content will be displayed here. Based on your name, your content will be displayed here. But irrespective of those, the position would be same. In that case, every time, say, the text is changing. In that case, what you have to do, you have to use this contains. And there are also few websites which says about the count. Say suppose Twitter count or anything where the value keeps on changing. Say what I mean to say is, say suppose I have something called as class is equal to Twitter, and I have some text here, welcome count 1 2 3 4 5, some selenium, assume some text, just for an example. If I have this, I can write the XPath for this as slash slash tag name slash slash a @class is equal to Twitter, and I can say here text equal to, I can simply copy this and I can paste this. This would run. But assume this is generated, this code dynamically. For the second time when the user logs in, assume here the count it reaches from 1 2 3 4 5 to 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then this won't work. Assume you have changed it to 1 2 3 4 5 6. It started working. Again for the third time when you have logged in, it would have shown some 7. And instead of Selenium, it would have showed Java. Then again this won't work. Instead what you can do, instead of writing this completely, basically among all these three, what is the common part you have? You have the common is 1 2 3 4. Welcome count 1 2 3 4 is common, right? Which is not changing. Here you can write, instead of this you will say contains. Within the contents we are saying text, comma, within that just give the value. Then this will work for all three. And assume it was working and again you got an issue, it was not working. Because this time the content whatever is there, it's working for the text. But here it got changed from Twitter. It started displaying the username. So what you do, we have done for this one, it worked, but later again it didn't work. The reason behind, when the second user logged in, it said user 2. So in this case what you can do, this part is good, you can keep this, but here instead of @class you can say contains, and you will say @class, comma, within these codes. What is common here? Common is Twitter. If you want, You can use the space as well, Twitter space or no space, because first one it doesn't have the space. So you will say this and you will kind contains, right? This would work for all. So basically there are three syntaxes. The first one is slash slash tag name at the rate property is equal to value, right? To this, if you have HTML code or some text hyperlink, to this you can append something called as text equal to value. Also, what you can do is the same thing. If you have, you can type like this as well, slash slash tag name. See, the example of this one is slash, the first one is slash slash a at the rate class is equal to within this underscore gs. For this, the example would be slash slash text equal to advertising. And the third syntax would be using the contain slash slash tag name. You can use the contains in the property saying contains at property comma value, right? The example would be slash slash a contains at the rate class comma just right underscore g. You can write the full path as well. And the next one is slash slash tag name. You can write it as contains text comma value, which is slash slash tag name contains, instead of writing complete advertising, you can say text comma and you can also mix these two. When I say mix these two, you can these four you can mix based on your requirement. It could be this one followed by simply this one. It could be like this, right? Or it could be, or it could be something like this one followed by contains, text contains, or another example would be the contains in the first part, right? This one followed by this. Based on this, all will be based on the behavior of the web element. Based on that, you will be writing this. If it is not matching or no, basically based on the requirement. If the text has more, then you will use the contains for text. So like that. So for this, the example would be this one followed by text. For this one, the example would be the first is this followed by if you have contains, right? So you will have this, and the example for third one would be contains of this. The first part contains, in this also the first part is contains and the second part is this. For this, the second part is contains. See, so these are the four examples what we have. the first one, the second, third, and the fourth one. These are the basic stuff. This is the very basic stuff of writing the XPath. See, the first one is property at the rate. So basically, what we have done here, the three combinations we have written based on the requirements. So this is about the basic XPath writing. We have seen about XPath, absolute XPath, relative XPath, and few examples of writing the XPath using the Google or some other website. So always remember, whenever you highlight, that should be highlighted in the application, and it should be highlighted in the HTML code, and you should see the matching nodes based on your requirement. So that's all about video 1. So in the next video, I'll be talking about using OR and few more ways of writing the XPath. So that's all for this video. Thank you guys.